Thank you for joining me for Where I'm From 233 with Bernadette. What have you been reading? I received a book for my birthday from my friend Shireen. Thank you, Shireen. And it's Jojo Moyes, The Giver of Stars. It's a book, it's a novel about when Eleanor Roosevelt puts out a call for a traveling library in Kentucky and the women who work in the library and the ways in which their lives are changed by having a paycheck and having a purpose every day that's not centered around their families and their marital or familial duties. So it was very enjoyable and it was a welcome distraction from everything. And I was struck when I was logging it on Goodreads, it had 500,000 reviews, which I often when I read books, they have like a lot less, because I read a lot of memoir, and those books don't generally have the virality of novels. So that was something to see. Hello, Bernadette. I'm going to invite you to join me. One of these will work. We'll just keep trying. But I was happy. I like to get immersed in a book, and this one was a fun one to get immersed in. And and here you are. Hello.
Hi,
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Considering the world and the country I live in, I'm doing okay. I just took a walk. It was beautiful outside. I just
Oh,
talked to a
great.
friend. Like you gotta find all the joys where you can and
Good. You're
put some
not involved in
energy.
any snowstorms or blizzards.
I am not. I live in Los Angeles. We had our rain last week and
Okay.
and and we were fine and we are not in a flood zone,
Okay.
so that was very good. But thank you for asking. And you are in Berlin, is that
Yeah,
correct?
correct. Yeah. Yeah. We just got through a lot of snow and ice. Um, Probably the most wintry winter
Mhm.
since I've been living here.
It's kind
But
of
I think
interesting. I saw somebody talking about New York and how it kind of felt like a throwback to them. Like it felt like the 90s again, where it like snowed a lot in the winter and there were
oh
blizzards
yeah.
and yeah, it's
Yeah.
that's when I lived in Chicago. So I was like, yeah, that was miserable.
Yeah, I grew up in the Pittsburgh area and I remember mountains
Yeah,
of
yeah,
snow
yeah,
every year.
yeah.
Yeah.
hmm So it's anyway. Well, I'm glad you're good. And is there anything you'd like to share before you read your poem?
Well, I guess I can share that I do have a new book out, and well, it was published in October 2025 from
That's
April
new.
Blooming Publishing, and it's called "What Haunts Me." And there
Mm-hmm.
are quite a lot of poems of, basically where I'm from.
Yeah, yeah. hmm Sounds beautiful.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Having a book in the world is a huge accomplishment. So, congratulations. Writing it and then also getting it out into the world. Those are both big accomplishments.
It was about 20 years in the making. So yeah.
Yeah, there often is a big chunk of time
Yeah.
involved. And I think sometimes it can feel misleading to those who just pick it up like they don't know. Um,
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
only the writing, but the work that you do internally to get to the place where you can write it.
Oh yeah. And the number of poems that were in the first version of it versus the poems that actually ended up in the final version that was
Yeah,
published. It's like
yeah.
almost a completely different
Oh,
selection.
interesting. And so then will you do anything with those poems that didn't make it or?
Yes, I think some of them actually are very suited to a different
hmm
manuscript that I'm working
hmm
on as well.
Oh, that's nice. I mean, not everything finds a home, like sometimes we
Yeah.
just write things and it's just for the act of writing it. It
Oh yeah,
it's not necessarily for others, but it is nice when something feels shareable,
yeah,
um, to do that with it, to be able
yeah,
to,
Exactly. I was talking with another writer just last evening about how, there are things that we write that are just for
Yeah,
ourselves, but
yeah,
then there are things that share either thoughts or emotions that maybe somebody else needs to hear something like that as well.
yeah, yeah. It's it's interesting. I mean, I'm forever trying to walk the balance of taking in the thoughts and words of others and also to maintain my self and my sanity with, because I do find so much of what's happening, I'm a survivor. That word is complicated. I've been raped more than once. And so all of this stuff that is going on, with the files, it's obviously very distressing and
Mhm.
wrong. But there is also that things are being talked about in a way that they never have been before. And there is
Mhm.
a piece of that that is very powerful. And there is this tiny bit of hope. Obviously, we've seen it not happen time and time and time again, but there is this tiny bit of hope that maybe some people will understand what it's like to move through the world and never feel safe.
Yeah,
That there's a reason
yeah,
beyond one experience or two experiences, or just this kind of systemic situation,
yeah,
patriarchy, but but also
right.
like the fashion, the makeup, like all the things that were happening as we were becoming women.
Oh,
And
yeah. Yeah.
yeah, like there is a part of it that is like, okay, I wasn't insane, all these things were
Mhm.
happening, but it is also really
Right.
difficult. So I have to really walk that line where I take things in
Yeah,
but still maintain my peace, well, some peace.
yeah, and that's what words have the power to help others understand when they
Yeah.
are not alone
Yep.
in what they have experienced and what they have felt.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And those words, there just weren't the same like amount of them when I
yeah,
was a teenager and I was grappling with these things.
yeah,
Um and so something like Sylvia Plath's The Bell Jar helped me so much, because I thought, okay, well, here's someone who experienced something, because look at
yeah,
what she's writing about and how she's writing about it. But she died by suicide, so it's helpful that there are some other voices that can hopefully help people and inspire them to, like, there can be life after.
yeah,
um so but
yeah,
yeah, that book like saved me. And I know
yeah,
it's a book that a lot of people have read, but it was very meaningful to me. Just
yeah.
because it's popular doesn't mean it's not significant. So that was maybe a bit tangential. Thanks for going there with me, Bernadette.
Sure,
Would you
sure.
like? I think it was probably the haunting. What haunts me? I was like, well, here's
Yeah.
what haunts me.
Oh, yeah, and that's really, what the book focuses on is
Yeah.
um, like the house that I grew up in. For a while, I believed it was haunted by a ghost.
Mm, hmm.
Um, but like the final poem of the book is, basically confronting the ghost and being like, you don't scare me anymore because I tell you what, daily life is more haunting and scarier than anything you could ever do. So,
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, would you like to read your poem?
Sure, it's a little less haunting.
Okay, good.
Okay, so first of all, I do have to say thank you so much for this prompt. It
Oh,
was a lot of fun, and the poem was probably three times longer than it now is, but it was just really fun to kind of pull all of these thoughts together. So,
yes. Well, I'm
very
excited to hear you read it. Go.
great. Where I'm from. I am from lawn sprinklers, from Band-Aid and mercurochrome. I am from the willow tree that thrived after its roots tapped into the sewer line. I'm from the compost pile along the garden wall, fetid, moist, guarded by wasps and worms. I'm from Wigilia and a hard bargain, from Helens and Franks. I'm from green thumbs and fierce loyalties, from watch your sisters and don't stay out too late. I'm from 10 o'clock midnight mass, butter lambs at Easter, and Polish hymns from the choir. I'm from McKees port and the town glass built, hot pepper rings and pierogies. From the eardrum my father ruptured as a child, the radio that Bub listened to baseball on all summer. Boxes teeter in the closets and attic spaces of my parents' house. Memories scented with cedar, clusters, counting their hide-and-seek years with us, waiting to be found.
Thank you. That wasn't that haunted.
No, no, not a ghost among it.
I love the metaphor of the willow. I mean, it's also reality, but the metaphor of the willow flourishing after it tapped into all the shit.
Yes,
I mean, it's
sometimes you
like,
just gotta go there.
yeah, yeah. It's like, well, and the compost, and then follow it up with the compost, and like that,
Yeah.
sometimes we have to really like the growth can come from places that feel in a like forbidden or dirty or
Yeah.
haunted.
The unseemly,
Yes, that's better.
unseemly places.
Yes. I was like, what's the word? I don't want to say inappropriate because that's not what it is. So yeah, I love that. And it was I can believe that it was much longer and that you edited it down to this state because it was very, every line had so much weight and significance. And so you spoke a little bit about what it was like, but do you have anything else you want to say about the process, or was it what you expected? That's often what I'm interested. I'm curious if it was what you thought you would explore.
I think it was really fun to have the structure of the original poem
Yeah.
to bounce off of, because something like this can really just feel like too open to talk about
Mm-hmm.
like where you're from. Like that's
Yeah,
just
for sure.
there's a lot. Like I'm from actually a lot of different places throughout my whole life.
Hmm.
The place that I describe in this poem is where I grew up. But then I lived in the DC area for 20 years. And now, when people ask me where I'm from Berlin.
Hmm. Hmm.
For a while I was from Meadville, Pennsylvania, where I went to college.
Hmm.
So yeah, there's like so many different places that I've been from, that this poem really could have gone anywhere. So it was really good to have that structure, and I tried to match it really closely. So,
Yes, I saw that. It's interesting to see how, some people do. I certainly have, where I'm like, I want it to be like almost a mirror of it.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
it's
especially
fun.
with the names. It was I loved
Mm.
I love thinking back to all of the names in my
Mhm.
family.
Yeah.
Like my confirmation name was Antoinette because of a grandmother. But yeah, like my middle name is Helen because there are Helens on both sides of my family. So,
Mhm.
um, yeah, it was just fun to think of all of the names that I could have used, but I
Mhm.
ended up using Helens and Franks because there are Helens on both sides of, my mother's side and my father's side, and then there are Franks on my mother's side
Mhm.
and my father's side. So,
Mhm. It is fun I think it's fun to have an excuse to look backward and because I certainly have times where I've thought, oh, I think too much about the past, I dwell too much. So it was nice for me to be invited.
yeah, yeah. Well, and also like a lot of times you might think like, oh yeah, I had a really boring childhood. It was really normal. I
Yeah.
grew up in this little town. Oh, there was nothing special about it, but like really everywhere is there's something unique about everywhere that everybody is from. And it's
Mhm.
just, you know, remembering that not everyone had this specific experience. You are the only person who lived that specific life.
Yeah. Yeah. I also feel like the more that we all own our own specific experiences and the beauty and complicated nature, like the more we go out into the world able to accept that others had beautiful complicated lives,
Yeah,
like we're I feel as if we're less likely to try to erase other people's uniqueness when we embrace our own.
yeah, and I find the older I get, the more I love biographies and
Hmm.
memoir
Hmm.
and short flash nonfictions, just these like little glimpses of someone else's life.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean I read so much nonfiction, and I do think oftentimes truth is stranger than fiction because of those little detail, because even I don't know, like fiction, even when you get really immersed and you make a character rich and full and complete, it's like you can't almost go there because people are like, that seems fake. I don't
No
I don't
one, no
buy that.
one could have had that happen to them.
Yeah, yeah. Where when it's nonfiction, you're, oh wow, oh my
Yeah,
goodness, sorry, my phone is not silenced. Um, sorry about that.
I didn't hear it.
Oh good. I'm like, but yeah, I think, and for me, I mean, I've said it many times, but listening to these poems, it's been such a gift to me because I always kind of want to know where people are from and what are the building blocks of their foundation, and it's
Yeah,
hard to do that with just lots of people. So
right.
it's been such a joy for me, and I just find myself transported, like I'm imagining the willow tree and I'm imagining the home and the cedar, the smell of the cedar, and it reminds me of um the cedar little like acorns that you put in
In your
drawers.
closet or
Yeah,
drawers. Yeah,
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 to keep them fresh, which is not something I've thought of in a very long time, but it just made, and it's such a it's a it's such a joy to just kind of go on these little journeys, these little
yeah.
adventures with everyone,
Well,
because I am not going to visit all these places and live all these lives. So this is
true. Yeah.
my chance. So so thank you. Anything else? No
Um,
pressure, but if you have anything.
I guess when I think about, these, oh, I'm nothing special, where I grew
Yeah,
up is
yeah,
nothing special, is just to always, always, remember that, you are this unique person and you have unique experiences, and whether you write about them or not, just sharing a part of you, whether it's with friends or family members, or through your words, sharing it with complete strangers across an Instagram live. um, that that's the world needs a lot more of this, recognizing each other's values and individuality.
yeah. I agree, and everyone does have something to say, and everyone is a poet. I just had a teenager say to me, I've heard that there are more good poets than good teachers, or he'd heard, and I thought, well, sure, because we're all poets. Sure.
That's
I
true.
mean,
Yeah.
I don't really know what to say to that, but okay. I mean, I think we all could be teachers too, but I think he was speaking in an educational setting. So, but yeah, I think it's worth taking a minute to think about a poem about yourself. I think it's a worthwhile
Yeah.
exercise.
Yeah, everyone should try this. Everyone should
Yeah,
try this.
yeah. And so thank you, Bernadette, for taking the time and for joining me and to just have this little adventure. So thank you.
Yeah. And thank you, Allison, and
Yeah.
wishing you a good rest of your day.
Thank you. And you get a good night's sleep because it's late
I
for
will.
you. Thank you for thank you for calling in late. I appreciate it.
No worries.
And okay. Thanks again. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.